Welcome to The Strategic Edge, the podcast for entrepreneurs and business owners who want a competitive edge in the market. They want to be seen as the expert in their industry, and they're looking for cutting edge and innovative strategies that work across industries to help them scale their business like a boss. My name is Carden, and I'm your host. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to another episode of the Strategic Edge podcast. My name is Carden, and I'm your host. And as you can see, if you're watching the video and not listening to the audio, I am coming to you from my lake condo this week, where we are spending the week. So I'm hanging back at the condo, and I'm actually doing this right in my living room here. So that's the reason for the background that you're seeing with all of the lake decor. All right, so this week I want to talk about a topic that comes up a lot with coaches, consultants, and professional service providers, and that is, should you niche? Should you specialize in your business? And I really want to dive into this because I will tell you this. Years and years ago, when I first started in my coaching and consulting business as a business consultant and coach, I did not niche. I was out there trying to sell to everyone because I can basically help anyone grow their business and have more success in their business. And so I thought that if I just went out and marketed to everyone, it would work well. But what I found is disbelief with a lot of the people that I was coming across. So I would talk to contractors, for example, and they would say, well, have you ever owned a contracting business? And so they had this disbelief that I could really help them. Now, that changed when I actually got a couple of contractor clients and I worked with them and I had amazing results. And then the next thing I know, they're referring other contractors to me. And then the next thing I know, I'm niching in that area. I put up a website. I started speaking at their associations. I started running workshops for them. I started getting them as clients over and over again. And I even wrote an ebook at one time for contractors, and I coined myself as the contractor business coach. In fact, I actually still have a Facebook page up for that. I still have a website up for that. And then, it worked so well that I knew I had to do that again. And so I did it again with coaches and consultants and professionals where I can help you 3 to 20 times what you're charging in your business by building an expert business, which is exactly what I had already done. Now, the reason it's so important is because you become more credible and more believable when people can see that you clearly understand them, that you have an offer that they want, and that you've worked with other people in that industry or in that niche. And so the answer to should you niche, yes, in some way, and I'm going to talk about what I mean by this. There are really two ways to set yourself apart in the market and establish an expert business, which is really what I'm talking about here. You're great at what you do, but you haven't dialed in that true expertise or that true positioning in the marketplace that makes you stand out in a category of one. I have right now a brand that's called Expert in You. And if you go and look at me everywhere online, you're going to see I've been featured in the media for that. You're going to see I wrote a book around it. You're going to see posts and content around the fact that you have an expertise that you can establish in the marketplace to set yourself apart in a category of one. But the reason it's so important is you can bring in higher value clients, often for so much more money. You now look like the expert. Now you become sought after. And when people think about needing a coach or a consultant with what you do, they think of you. You become top of mind. Your whole brand is built around that expertise. And when you do this, you do become the go-to person. So that's why it's so important to do this. So I did it in the contractor space. I did it in the coaching, consulting, and professional services space. And now I'm actually developing a whole nother company where I have other people working with me in that company in the plumbing plumbing and HVAC space in that industry. And the reason for that is because I've worked with plumbing companies. I've loved working with them, and I get them incredible results. And it's easy for me to go in and see what they need and help them fix things so that they can be a lot more profitable. But I don't want to do it all by myself. I want to have a team behind me that can also help with clients and can work with clients, and we can all work together as a team to make sure that those plumbing and HVAC owners get anything and everything they need. So if they need sales help, we'll give it to them. We've got someone. If they need HR help, we've got someone. If they need business coaching, we've got someone. If they need marketing, we've got someone. So I'm building this whole team of incredible people to be part of that company so that I'm building this big company. So that's a whole nother side of my business. But I'm talking to you today because yes, I work with coaches, consultants, and professional service providers to build an expert business and 3 to 20 times what they're charging and really be able to scale to 7 figures. And so that is my sweet spot. And when I help people do this in their business becomes very rinse and repeat, and it's a lot more scalable. It's simpler. It's a simpler business model. So let's talk about niching down. First of all, you can choose an industry, or you can kind of dive deep into like what we call a micro niche. Okay, that's one way that you can do it. The other way that you can really stand out and set yourself apart is to have what we call a unique selling proposition or a market dominating position. It can be either of those things. And what that really means is that no one else offers what you offer. And so again, for me, I help coaches, consultants, and professional service providers who are scaling, who want to scale to 7 figures, get 3 to 20 times more per client, land those higher value clients, and then simplify their business so that they can really scale up. So they scale up with very high ticket clients, and often they don't have to fall into the trap of all the low ticket stuff that's being taught out there in the industry. And so I talk about this all the time. I talk about it in my book, How It's the Fastest Path. And my expert in you is my own process, and it's my own brand. And so I've niched myself working with people to do this, to help them do this in their business too. So you can come up with a clear offer that you can build your brand around, or you can choose an industry and get very, very specific in that industry about what you help people do, or you can target the industry if it's not completely saturated with other people, and you can set yourself apart that way. Years ago, I remember hearing Dan Kennedy. If you don't know who Dan Kennedy is, he's one of the greatest direct response marketers in the entire world. He was one of my first mentors, and I remember hearing Dan say that when he would go and speak at chiropractic conferences and things like that he would actually get called doctor. And the reason for that is he got to know chiropractors' businesses so well from marketing for them that he truly became an expert in that space, to the point that they actually thought he was a chiropractor himself. He knew the business so well and so inside and out that they just thought he was a doctor that was helping other people market. And so that's what really niching down or getting that expert positioning in the marketplace can do for you. But the other thing is, it's so much easier to find the people that you're looking for, to get in front of the people that you're looking for. It's so much easier to come up with an offer that they will want that's really high value. And it's so much easier to put a rinse and repeat system in place with your marketing and your sales, so that as you're scaling, you can actually develop a team to go and do those things for you. Whether you're doing organic or whether you're doing paid, it doesn't matter. You'll have a system that you can actually give to someone else to go and now do the marketing for you. Or if you're doing sales, you can create a system to have people close sales for you, because it's going to be the same thing over and over again. And so this is the simplicity of this type of a business model. And yet I see business coaches who have been coaches for years who still struggle with this. They still don't have a clearly defined niche. They still have not specialized. They still are all over the place trying to sell themselves as a business coach and out there looking for clients for who wants their help. they still don't have a clearly defined offer. They're still trying to do coaching. They're trying to sell coaching. It just doesn't work. You have to, when you're trying to sell coaching, you are trying to convince people they need a coach. I remember a lot of the things that I used to hear in the industry is, Tiger Woods has a coach and Michael Jordan had a coach. And to me, that's trying to convince people that they need a coach. Instead of saying, hey, if you're a coach or a consultant that wants to scale to 7 figures and you want to do it with high value clients charging 3 to 20 times more than you are charging right now, and you want to land those clients and you want to scale up with simplicity, so that you can work less and make more, if that interests you, then let's have a conversation. How much easier is that, right? It's so much easier to do that and let them self-identify than it is to go out there and try to chase people or figure out if they need your help. So I'm all about attraction marketing. Now, you do have to do outbound work to get inbound results, but you don't have to spam people and things like that. If you've got your positioning dialed in as an expert business, and you get in front of people, the people that message resonates with, that the offer resonates with, and they see you as credible and as an expert, and you've got all those pieces in place, they will come to you. They will come to your inbox. They'll come to your email. They'll book on your calendar. They'll be reaching out to you. And so it's very difficult to have a great marketing strategy if you haven't done these things in your business. In fact, I think it's really hard, and speaking would probably be the closest thing I could see to being able to have a strategy where you're marketing to everyone. But even with that, every business, for example, doesn't have the same needs. I see a lot of coaches out there selling, I can find you $100,000 in your business in 45 minutes. Well, for a contractor, that doesn't mean anything. Like they're used to working with millions of dollars. They're used to closing $80,000 jobs and $100,000 jobs. So $100,000 isn't even compelling for them. But if you're working with, say, a startup, who's not making any money, or maybe you're working with a coach who, has only made a few $1,000s, that's going to sound significant and that's going to sound great. But the problem is the message doesn't resonate with everyone, right? And so, but if you're out there selling that to everyone, you're gonna miss really a lot of better clients. And so that's why those types of things don't work. They really aren't very good to bring in the right people that can pay you the big bucks. Because even if you think about $100,000, in some businesses, that's not going to be very good because maybe the profits are only 30, right? Maybe they're only 30%. So now you're talking about $30,000 additional dollars. Well, how are you going to charge $30,000 or $50,000 if all you're bringing them is $30,000 to put in their pocket? Do you see how it just doesn't align? And so often people don't get this, and still they're out there doing it, and it doesn't work for them. So here's what I want to tell you. I hope this all made sense, first of all, but find your ideal clients and find what they want, and then create that process that can be very rinse and repeat, and it's high value. It has a very high perceived value. And then go and position yourself in the marketplace for them, speak to them, have a message that resonates with them, have an offer that they will clamor to get, and get them to raise their hand, and then create the marketing strategy and the sales process to land those clients. When you do this, it is just your faster path. It just is. So, should you specialize in some way? Yes, you should. Either choose an industry and go all in, or choose a specific problem, pain, something that you solve for people that your ideal clients have, and become the go-to person for that. All right, I hope this is helpful. I'm Ann Carden. Until next time, you have an amazing day, and make sure you subscribe to the podcast if you're enjoying what you hear every single week, because every Wednesday we release a new one. So have an awesome day, and if I can help you in your business, go to acarden.com and book a call. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.